It's 2023 and it's the first launch of the year. I mean, it's been some time since we talked about a brand new smartphone, so it's exciting. And add to that, the new phone is the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. I mean, Redmi Notes are always hyped up, so I'm sure you're thinking, what's new? Well, there are quite a few changes, so let's take it one by one. First, the design. I was not a big fan of the flashy back in the Note 11 Pro Plus or the camera module design, so this clean and nice look looks just more classy and appealing. The back is tempered glass and we have the wide glossy variant, but I like the fact that this is not a fingerprint magnet. Also, there are matte finish options out there if you want one. The frame is plastic and you get the fingerprint scanner here, which I was hoping to be an in-screen one, but it is fast, so that's okay. Then there are all the features we expect: IP53 rating, X-axis vibration motor, which means the haptics are fairly good, the IR blaster and headphone jack on the top, and by the way, the device supports high-res audio, both wired and wireless. There are also stereo speakers, one on the bottom and one on the top, not in the earpiece, and the speakers are actually very loud, have good detail, and have Dolby Atmos support. Then there's the SIM slot, which by the way does not have a micro SD slot. But I guess that's fine considering the base variant has 256 GB of storage. The design part, one of the big new features in the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is obviously the display. I mean, it's still an AMOLED display with adaptive 120Hz support, but the big changes from last gen is the fact that this is a 10-bit display, which means the display supports 1 billion plus colors. This also has Dolby Vision support and HDR10+. These specs actually show in the real world because this is a fantastic high-end AMOLED panel. I mean, it's bright enough, going up to 900 nits, the colors look beautiful and the blacks are excellent. It's also very smooth and there's proper HDR support. You can see the HDR10 and Dolby Vision tag in Netflix's playback specs, and Dolby Vision supported shows look incredible on this screen. Another minor change from the last gen is that there's no chin at the bottom. You can see that the bezels are all symmetrical and that does give the phone a more high-end look. The new display is impressive, but the biggest highlight of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is obviously the 200 megapixel camera with OIS. I mean, Redmi sent us this phone in this massive camera-like box, so it's obviously the big highlight. Let's look at the specs. Samsung HPX 200 megapixel sensor with a wide f1.65 aperture, OIS. There's also an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and a 2 megapixel macro camera. But the hype is all around the new 200 megapixel camera. I mean, by default, it takes 12.5 megapixel photos using 16 to 1 pixel binning, but there's also a 50 megapixel mode that uses 4 to 1 pixel binning, and if you want, there's even a 200 megapixel mode that takes super detailed photos that are around 25 MBs in size. Now, I usually took photos in the recommended 12 megapixel mode, but the details in the 200 megapixel mode are incredible. I mean, in this photo, I can keep zooming in and the detail is amazing. Even after so much zoom, the face is pretty sharp. Going back to the usual 12 megapixel mode, I have been taking a lot of photos with it and I have noticed that photos have very good dynamic range. I've also noticed almost all the shots are very natural looking, not boosted at all. They're also sharp and have very good details in almost every single photo. I can keep zooming in on the building and it's still pretty good. Now let me zoom in on this tree now, and yeah, the details are very good. And you can see that the photos just look very rich in terms of colors. Low light photos are also very good. They're sharp almost all the time thanks to OIS probably. The photos are also bright, the exposure is on point, and it handles lights well, as you can see in this photo. Now, I'm yet to compare the photos versus the competition, but so far I rate this camera very high for a mid-range phone. Anyway, I remember complaining about no 4K videos in the last gen Note, and the good thing is this phone does support 4K 30fps video recording, and since OIS works with videos, the combo should be good. I mean, I did take a couple of videos from the phone and this is how it looks like in terms of quality and stability. The ultra-wide camera is an 8 megapixel sensor, but it does its job in maintaining the colors from the main camera shots. The front has a 16 megapixel sensor and it does take good selfies. I say good because the colors are natural, nothing weird going on. And as for videos, the front has 1080p 60fps recording support. Moving away from the camera, the Note 12 Pro Plus is powered by the Dimensity 1080 chipset, which is an upgrade from the Snapdragon 695 in the Note 11 Pro Plus. And this also supports the 200 megapixel sensor, so makes sense. Now, what's more interesting to me is that the Note 12 Pro Plus, like I said, has a base variant with 8GB LPDDR4X RAM and 256GB UFS 2.2 storage. Yeah, that's a lot of storage and RAM. Anyway, these are the benchmark scores from the phone and they are what you expect from the Dimensity 1080. But benchmarks apart, the phone does well in throttling tests and day-to-day performance is snappy. Gaming is good too. The phone does support high graphics in games like Apex and COD, and gaming on this phone almost always lag-free and heat-free. I mean, this feels like an optimized chipset so far. On the software front, there's still MIUI 13 on top of Android 12, and the phone is promised to get 2 major Android updates and 4 years of security patches. Other than that, MIUI 13 is MIUI 13. Now, there are some pre-installed apps, but they can be uninstalled, so that's fine. And as for ads, I did not find any ads in the phone, which is good. The battery is close to 5000 mAh, but one new upgrade from last gen here is that the Note 12 Pro Plus comes with a 120 watt hypercharger, which is obviously insanely fast. I mean 10 to 50% in 5 minutes, 10 to 100% in 16 minutes. These are crazy fast charging speeds. Connectivity-wise, this phone has 10 5G bands, including support for dual 5G. There's also carrier aggregation support and Wi-Fi 6. Look, one thing is for sure, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is definitely an upgrade over the last gen Note 11 Pro Plus. I mean, there are upgrades to camera, charging, display, and even the processor, so it's clear that Xiaomi has tried to bring upgrades on all fronts. Now let's see how Xiaomi decides to price the phone. Honestly, I'm also waiting for the price, and I think this will be the talking point in new phones in 2023, the price. Anyway, what do you guys think of the new Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus? Comment down below. Also give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure to share it and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. That's me signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. You will be able to repair your smartphone yourself very soon. India's Right to Repair website is now live with